Many people, they'll say to me, I say, how you doing? They go, well, I got, I built up $1 million in my 401k. And I go, you don't have $1 million in your 401k. I said, what do you mean? I said, well, first of all, half of that's the government's.
Right.
Second,
says, you take 50, any money of it.
Yeah, 50% tax back for this person.
Man, I absolutely hate when the big social media influencer or just popular people come out and say stuff like this, man. They say this stuff, and I don't know if they're just flat out lying to people or just trying to get likes or just thinking that everybody else is fools or anything like that. I just don't know. But when you say stuff about the 401k and the taxes and all that, that's a big deal. Of course you have to pay taxes, man. You got to pay taxes on all the money that you make, whether you is now or later. So that's not a big deal. But the part about the taxes that people don't talk about, or maybe they're not tax people, the way the tax system works, I'm going to put this chart up here. And this chart right here is showing you the different tax brackets. So if you notice with this, they have the single and the married filing jointly tax. So if you see on this tax chart, you can see that the first $11,600, $0 to $11,600, if you're single, you're taxed at 10%. And then if you're married filing jointly, it's 23,000 and some change. So, and then it stair steps all the way up to like $600,000 or more. So that's how the tax system works. So even if you are at, say, for instance, 22% tax, well, you didn't pay 22% on everything. You only paid 22% on that part above that threshold. And then it changes for being married. I think it's like 23.2 for married people, as you can see on this chart here. So that's the biggest deal with the taxes. You're not going to pay all that tax that everybody is saying, 37%. That's for someone who's making over $600,000. And that's like 0.1% of the population. We're not going to be dealing with that. People are not going to be dealing nowhere near that. The average person that's seeing these videos are not even nearly going to be in that situation. So right off the bat, I want to call it a lie, or it's a truth mixed with a little lie, because I could also say something like, well, you don't have to pay zero tax. You would pay zero taxes on your 401k. Well, some people are going to pay zero, because when you look at the tax brackets, it starts after the standard deduction. So if you're married filing jointly, you get like a $31,000 standard deduction. So you don't pay no taxes on the first $31,000. Your average Social Security check is $2,000. That's $24,000 a year. If you don't have any other income, it's $24,000. You paying zero taxes on that. Zero. But while you were working, you could have been paying up to 22 to 24% of it. So it all depends on what your tax bracket is. So when it comes down to it, of that $24,000 that you could be getting your Social Security, while you were working, you would have paid taxes on that, up to 24%. The tax thing, yes, it is a thing, but majority of Americans, it's a good deal, because you're not going to be paying, you could possibly not pay taxes. And then what everybody misses, a lot of them are missing the company match. The company match would have paid your taxes anyway. But if you take out a certain amount of money below a certain threshold, you could be actually getting away with the company match without even paying taxes on that either. So I just hate when they come out here and they say stuff about the 401k, and they come in and they say you have to pay taxes and all this other stuff. Yeah, you got to pay tax. You're going to pay in the front or you're going to pay at the back. But for a lot of people, it's going to work exactly as what it was intended. A lot of people, a lot of Americans going to be at a lower tax bracket when they retire. I hope you young people are not listening to these guys telling you all the negative things about the 401k and how you're going to be paying X amount of dollars, or half of it is gonna go to the IRS, or most of it, or even 37% of it, which is bogus because the average American don't have that much in there anyway. They got the averages. You can go out there and look at it, and the median is even less. Most people are not going to, the majority of people watching these videos are not going to have to deal with those stuff that these guys are talking about. It just chaps, man, it just pisses me off when I hear them say that, and they just throw stuff. And then other influencers, they hear what they say and they go out there and repeat it. Just because they are famous, just because they have on a suit, or they say they got this kind of itch, I don't care. They're liars. They're liars to try to get people that they try and either sell a product or try to sell themselves, trying to get famous or known. But the people who know, they know. And I just happen to know. This is not financial advice. This is financial awareness. I'll see y'all in the next video.